On May 17th, 2024, I packed my bags and headed on a road trip 700 miles from home. It was simple. I had one goal, and that was to explore the Pacific Northwest. From a change of scenery on Interstate 5, witnessing deserts, farmland, practically nothingness, to the city life and urban life of the Bay Area. The drive offered many spectacular views like I have never seen before. Parts of California that I've never in my life explored. My goal was simple: get to Oregon and explore the Pacific Northwest. With an 11-hour drive ahead of me, I knew I had a long trip ahead of me. I needed some time to reflect on this trip. After a long drive of 6 hours, I decided to stop in Ukiah, California for the night. I would continue my drive the next day and stop at Redwood National Park before heading to the Oregon border in Brookings. This allowed me to get some rest and explore a bit of Northern California before heading north, as I've never been this far north in California, so it's my very first time exploring this. My plan was simple: get to Brookings, Oregon, explore Secret Beach, the Natural Bridge, Humbug Mountain, and an explosive bomb site that happened in World War II. But in order for me to get there, I need to get my car and take this really long drive. My second day on May 18th, 2024, I finally arrived in Redwood National Park to explore Trillium Falls. I parked my car just off Highway 101 and decided to embark on a short trek. With less than a mile, this hike offers a great alternative for a short workout before getting back on Highway 101. Much of the Redwood National Park includes dry forests such as Douglas fir, tonock, modron, California bay, Oregon grape, and Jeffrey pine can be seen throughout this forest. You will also encounter many spring wildflowers such as lupine, trillium, milkmaid, skunk cabbage, azalea, and Columbia lilies can be seen throughout this forest as well. Most notably, throughout this hike, you're gonna notice sworn fern decorated throughout this forest as well, along with 2,000-year-old redwood trees that are not just redwood trees, but these are coastal redwood trees, amongst the largest trees in the world, like their cousins, the sequoias. While the sequoias are bigger in width, the redwoods are taller in height. This forest actually includes the largest tree in the world, which is called Hyperion. But unfortunately, Hyperion is closed to the public, so it would be very difficult for me to actually find it, as there's not an actual trail to get to it that I know of personally. But if you could see a tree just a little bit taller than the rest of the trees from high up above, chances are that's probably the Hyperion tree. The whole trail is decorated with swan ferns, adding to that classic rainforest scenery. It also contains a spongy bark. This protects it from falling branches. And if you could notice the roots right behind me, and if you look a little closer, a lot of the roots actually have plants growing on them. And this is actually the size, even though they are still pretty wide. One fact to know about these trees is the fact that they are the only redwoods that are a part of only one of California's rainforests in the state. And a huge chunk of that comes from the rain and the winter storms that actually pours right into the moisture of the roots. which is essentially the foundation for these trees. One of the most impressive things about these coastal redwoods is their ability to survive this long. So the bark acts as an armor of protection for these trees against repellents such as insects and heat from fires. And they have a lot of springs flowing through their mountain, which also further contributes to much of the moisture that goes into the roots of these trees. These are 2,000-year-old trees, so they're among one of the longest living species on Earth. And the waterfall that I'm actually hiking to, and that this park is actually known for, at Trillium Falls, is actually named after the flower that is grown throughout this forest. So you will see them quite often if you look around you. When you go to a lot of these parks with these massive trees, they're always named after somebody famous. And at this point, I'm approaching Trillium Falls, and we have arrived to Trillium Falls. And you're gonna see it once you see that cascade pouring down. That's it. You could go a little further along the trail to get your steps in, but I opted just to stop at Trillium Falls due to keep my day short and the fact that I wanted to reserve my room before 8 o'clock. And I'm going to do one more stop after this. I'm actually going to head up to Hidden Beach, which isn't too far from here, and our last hike of the day. Unfortunately, I won't be able to do the Trees of Mystery tree trail today due to time constraints. But I have arrived to the parking lot, which will be right in front of this forest cafe. And I'm going to do a short 1 mile hike to Hidden Beach. So the trail is kind of hidden off of 101, but you're going to see the trail sign letting you know you're on the right direction. There are quite a few other alternatives to actually getting to Hidden Beach, but I opted to do one of the shorter routes due to time constraints and the fact that I wanted to be at my motel by 8 p.m. This trail takes you through spruce woods and is quite hidden off the road, so it's easy to miss. I actually had to turn around to actually find it again. But the best way to actually find this is actually when you pass the Trees of Mystery and the motel right across the street from it. That will let you know you're actually in the right spot. It's actually just going to be on the right side of Trees of Mystery. And once you get there and you find this trail, and you're guessing by the name of the beach, Hidden Beach, it actually gets its name off the fact that it's hidden off the coast and it's easy to miss as you're driving on the 101. Another alternative takes you through a lagoon just off the coast. Those longer trails actually offer more views along the hike, furthering your steps and adding scenery to your daily adventure. While there isn't much great scenery along this hike as you're hiking through mostly dense forestry, ferns, and spruce trees, it is important to notice that when you get towards the end of the trail, there's actually going to be a right and a left. The left side comes up through a trail that is actually the longer portion, and the right side is going to be the part where you could actually go through the lagoon. And at this portion of the hike, I'm actually getting relatively close to the end of the trail. But I thought I'd just point that out for those people who intend to do this hike on their journey up to Oregon or through the 101 highway. And once you see the trees start to open up a bit, then you know you're heading in the right way. Despite the lack of scenery on this hike, you will be rewarded towards the end of the hike, as you will witness Klamath Rock and the Hidden Beach. And if you want, you could even get your feet a little bit wet. And once you see that trail sign, that means you're heading towards the end of the hike. And you're gonna see an opening where you can see the beach. And we have arrived. This is Hidden Beach. So at this point, I'm just gonna take some photos of the area while capturing great footage. However, this would be our last trek of the day, and I'm gonna head up to Brookings, Oregon now. And that's Klamath Rock right there. You can see the trees on top of the rock. I hope you continue the journey with me as I will explore the coast of Oregon, such as Secret Beach, the Natural Bridge, and Humbug Mountain. And I will also be posting a video about a bombing site that happened during World War II. Stay tuned for that. See you in Oregon.